Now, yesterday we have gone into detail about the different components of AWT. Just we'll have a revision about the listener classes and the interfaces which are concerned with the AWT components. So yesterday we have seen that what is exactly the AWT is. Now it is nothing but an API in Java that contains abstract window toolkit with name, and it is nothing but it is a component which are platform dependent. So that is based upon the GUI of each operating system. So you will find that whenever you run a program in any different operating system, the component shows its output in different way. Now, second drawback about this AWT component is heavy weighted. So these are the two what we call as the drawbacks of AWT. One is it is platform dependent, and second thing is that it is heavily weighted. And as these two things are more difficult, so that's why swing came into exist. So swing, when you go into swing, you will find it is platform independent, and again the swing itself is a lightweighted components. So we have yesterday we have seen gone into detail about this java.awt package, and in this package we have seen there are different classes which are used to display different components on a GUI frame. For the purpose of text box, we use text field, label, then a text area, then radio button. This is the name of classes. You just see the name of class. Whenever it has been concatenated with some word, it is always in uppercase, just like radio button. So text field, label, text area, checkbox, choice, and list. So these are the basic components you will find, and these are frequently required for the purpose of designing any AWT screen. So yesterday we have gone into detail about the hierarchy. As we have seen that is an object which is the basic parent of the hierarchy of AWT component, and which contains components. Now these are nothing but the AWT components. This component is combination of different what we call as different classes like button, label, checkbox, and choice and list. These are the components you see on a visible screen. Whereas there is a container is the basic class on which you are placing all your components. So these components are always being placed on a container. So this is again a class container. This is abstract class, and this class in is been inherited by another window and a panel classes. So window is again an abstract. You cannot use directly window. You cannot use a container directly, but you can use a frame for the purpose of displaying all your components on your screen. So frame is there for the purpose of displaying a content in the Windows format. Applet is there for the purpose of displaying your components in applet, that is on a browser. So you can display on a browser also, and on your what you call as a Windows screen also. There is one more thing called as a dialog box. Whenever you want to access something, when get an input directly through some input box, or you want to display some messages, or you want to get a confirmation from the user, you basically go for the dialog boxes. So dialog box is again a part of window. You can use only in Windows. You cannot use in panel or in applet. So this thing you have to keep in mind whenever you go for the coding of AWT components. So these are the basic four what you call as a function which are required frequently whenever you go you add some components and you want to display it on a specific screen. So there is add a function that contains a list of components. So any component like text field, text area can be used. List, checkbox, radio buttons can be used here to add those components. Set size is for the setting the size of your screen. Then layout is for the adding some specific layout. You can give a null value also. Null means no layout has been specified. You can use any layout. There are 9 types of layout. You can use any layout. And there is set visible, which is most important to display all the components which you have added on the container. So container need to be visualized by using a function called as a set visible. So that is most important thing, and you have to pass the value called as a true. If you are sending false, no components will be displayed on the container. Now we have seen that whenever we go for designing any GUI frames, basically frame is a class which is nothing but a container. So container is always need to be initialized. So whenever you go for containers, there are two ways of initializing that frame class. One is by inheritance, that is you can use the extend keyword at the declaration of a class. And second one is that is called the association, where you can at the runtime you can create an object of a frame class, and that object can be used to set visualize and for the purpose of adding those component into the script. Yesterday we have seen wherever this is nothing but your inheritance, that is you are extending a frame, there is no need to use the create an object of frame here. There is no need to create an object of a frame. You can directly use the function that is set layout, set visible, set size, and add functions. These are the four functions which have always been required. So you have to keep in mind these are the four functions which are required. That is add, set size, set layout, and set visible. So four functions, and there is no need to create an object of a frame because we have already inherited it. So this is one thing. And second thing is that whenever you want to go for association, that is you are not extending it, you are not using inheritance, you are using association. So association means what? You are in using the feature of another class. So using a feature of another class in your regular runtime program, so you are creating an object of a frame, and you are using that frame object f for a purpose of adding, for setting a size of your window, for setting the layout of your window, and making all component visible on a screen, that is using a set visible. So these two types of examples we have seen orally, we have not executed. We have gone into detail about this different types of events. We have not implemented those things yet now, but still, as curiosity, and you should be knowing, you should know everything about this. There are different 11 types of events which are there in java.awt.event package. It is a separate package which is present in AWT. So it is present in java.awt.event, and these are different types of events which are being generated by the components which are been there in AWT. So for the purpose of button, there is action event. For the purpose of mouse, there is a mouse event. Again, for the using the wheel, that is mouse wheel event. Key event for the using a keyboard. Item event for the purpose of using checkbox, radio button, and all those things. Text event for the purpose of using text boxes. Adjustment event for the purpose of scroll bars. Windows event for the using some manipulation for the Windows screen. You want to do something. Then components event, container event, and focus event. These are the three events which never we are not frequently use those three events. But up till window, it is always we are preferring this 8 types of different events we are using. And whenever, as we know that these are the classes, so you cannot use directly those classes. So for that purpose, there are corresponding listeners are there. So same working can be done with this class interfaces. We will be using these interfaces in a program, and that interfaces will be doing the work which has been allotted to this class. So indirectly, we are using inheritance, that is multiple inheritance, but indirect way of using it, that is using this corresponding listeners. So if you want to use action event, there is action listener. In mouse, there are two types of different listener. There is mouse listener and mouse motion listener. Mouse wheel listener is there is again for the mouse wheel event. For key event, there is key listener. Item event, there is item listener. Text event, there is a text listener. Same way, corresponding events that have as corresponding listeners. So there are 11 things you have to keep in mind. And each interface, whenever you are using any interfaces, there are specific functions which are required for the purpose of adding those listener. So for the purpose of adding those listener, I have to use a function like this. So if I'm using action listener, it should be add action listener. If I'm using text listener, it should be add text listener. If I'm using item listener, it should be add item listener. So this type of functions are required for the purpose of adding those listener on a specific component. So if I'm using button and I want to add a click event to that, so what I have to do is that I have to add this listener, means this feature of this listener interface need to be added to that specific button, and the name of the function is add action listener. So add action listener will be adding at a runtime event called as an action listener event to this button. So each component has its specific called as a list of listeners which can work with it very systematically. So you cannot add an item listener to the button. So button listener only contains action listener. Menu item only contains action listener. Text field contains two types of listener. You can use any two types. So that you can use a click that is on action listener, or you can use a text listener also. So if you are adding something, a mail ID and or in a number, that this is contact number, and you are trying to type a text like ABCD, so automatically the text listener will be generating some event. So that type can be possible in text field. Same in text area, there is a text listener. There is no action listener. So only text listener is there. For checkbox, there is item listener. Choice, there is an item listener. But for the list, there is again an action listener and an item listener. So you have to keep in mind these things you need to mug. There are very limited number of what we call as components here in AWT, and it is very simple to go for this one. Now, whenever you go for writing any code, that is event handling code, we are not yet entered into event handling code. But when we enter into this event handling code, you will find we can write the event handling code in three different ways. In three different ways. That is within a class, that is an outer class, and in anonymous way. So there are three ways of writing any using your event handler. That is, any event handler can be used in your code by these three different techniques. So we'll have an example later when we enter into this in detail. Now, yesterday we have started with the action classes, and for the purpose of displaying some components on a screen. Yesterday we have gone through the button, we have displayed the button, we have seen different functionalities of buttons, boundaries, how you can increase the width and height of a button. So button, label, and text field. Yesterday we have completed these three things. Now today we'll go into the remaining all parts, that is checkbox, checkbox group, choice, list, menu item, and menu, panel, and dialog box. So if our time permits, we'll complete today itself, but we will be focusing on completing as much as we can in the today's session. So we'll move towards the practical session of different types of components of AWT. I will start today with text area. So yesterday we have seen with buttons, label, and text field. Today we'll continue with the now text area. Now this text area is same like a text box. Now see what we have done is that we have using the association technique. That is, I have created a class. One thing I need to do is that I need to import this package. If I am not using importing this package, automatically there will be a list of errors being generated because this is present into AWT package. Frame is present in AWT package. So whenever you are writing this, this is most important that you need to import this AWT package. So we are writing nothing but a constructor, simple program we are doing. We are writing a constructor over here. Yes, I want to do. I want to go for alignment. So sources and format. So it will be formatted. So this is constructor of this class, that is text area. I want to display text area. First one thing is that I need to initialize the container. So container here is my frame. So I'm creating object of a frame, that is F. Then I am want text area to be get displayed on a screen. So text area is just whenever you click on this, you'll find there is an always a symbol. It will be displayed automatically components called as your Eclipse ID. It will display you how this will be displayed on a screen. So text area, I am giving a name called as a area, and I am creating object of this class called as a text area class. So I will be displaying by default some value into that, that is welcome to Java lecture. So this thing I have added into this text area. So by default, this part will be getting displayed. Now my duty is that I need to set a size and set a location where I need to display this component on a screen. So area, that is nothing but the object of text area, area dot set bounds. So set bound is a function for displaying a component on a specific location and with a specific size. So first parameter is the x coordinated. So x coordinate on text, 30, 10 I have given on y coordinates, that is 30, 10 and 30, these are x and y coordinates. Then 300, 300 is the width and height of my text area, that is t dot, that is area, that is text area. I have given some width and height. So these are the four parameters you have to pass to set bounds. And these are the four functions by default we have seen. These are four functions that you need to add those component on a container called as a frame. So f dot add, I am adding this component on this container frame. Same way, I am setting a size of a frame. I cannot set a size of my component. I need to set a size of my container. So container size is been specified with a function called as a set size. So set size is the name of a function that will be setting the size of a frame of 4 by 100 by 400. I don't want any layout to be displayed here. So I'm saying that set layout, I'm saying giving a null value to that set layout function, and that is set visible. I want to display this text area on a screen, so I have given a parameter called as a true. This is nothing but I can write everything into my public static void main rather than, but whenever you want to do some initialization, it is always preferred to go for constructor. So we have just started for a systematic way of programming. So this is nothing but a main, this is a proper execution of your programming. But anything you want to initialize, it should be done in a constructor. So I have written a code in a constructor, and we'll go for the execution of this text area. You will find a text area with 300 by 300 size. Now see, as we have specified that it is start with 10 on x-axis. So this is directly started. There is only 10 pixel gap into this and 30 pixel gap from the top. And I have given a size of 300 by 300. So this is nothing but a text box. If I'm writing something into this, so automatically scroll bar will be displayed. So scroll bar will be displayed on a horizontal and a vertical way also. So if I am writing like this, so automatically vertical and horizontal scroll bar will be displayed. So this is the way where the text area will be displayed on a screen. So are you clear with this text area? Yes. You can change the size also. If you want 100 by 100, you can give it by 100 by 100. Whatever size you want, you can give it and you can run it. There is no way to specify like this. You can do whatever you want to do with the size and shape and the location where you want to place those components. So I am again running this program and I will be minimizing the size of my text area. Okay, see, this is 100 by 100 I have displayed. So based on your requirement on a GUI, you can develop your own personal sized text area component. So I need to stop this one. This is only active. Now I cannot stop it directly. What I have to do is that I have to go for Control Alt and Delete because I have missed to stop that program. I am going for task manager. I'm going for task manager, and you will see that this program has been displayed like this. So here you see this at the bottom. There is a Java. It is executable program. Now I'm closing this Java W. Now this Java W is nothing but your screen. Now I'm ending this process. I am ending process. Automatically it will get closed. So this is nothing but you are ending the process, not application. It is process. You are removing that process. So I have missed, and this is another way of stopping the process direct. Now, next component will go for after text area, will go systematic in the sequence we have specified. So after text area, there is a checkbox, and then we'll go into checkbox area. So these two things will complete now. So checkbox example. Now radio button is now see you go for checkbox. There is nothing like radio button here. So we'll first go for this displaying this checkbox now. Now, same way we are creating a constructor of checkbox example. I am creating one thing I need to do is that I need to import this package called as a java.awt package. So this package I have imported. I have created a class called as a checkbox example. Then I am writing a code into my constructor that is initialization of the thing what I want to display on a screen that need to be initialized at the initial stage itself. So I am writing it on a constructor. And first thing that is I need to add a container. So container is nothing but frame F. Now in this container, I'm using a class called a checkbox. Now see the checkbox B is not in uppercase. Majorly whenever a student write a code, they have a habit of writing like this, concatenating two different things. So here what you have to do is that you have to use a checkbox like this checkbox. So what is it? Checkbox. And checkbox is a single word. So there is no need for you to write a box in uppercase. So checkbox and giving the object called as checkbox 1 and a new checkbox, and I'm assigning some value to that checkbox. So value of this checkbox is nothing but a C++. Okay, and then I'm setting a size that is said about I want a specific location where it should be displayed. So set bounds. This is name of function bounds, and on x-axis 100, y-axis 100, and size of 50/50. This checkbox will be located. Second way, checkbox again an object of the same class called as a checkbox with another name called as checkbox 2 and initialization with a keyword called as a new checkbox, and I'm giving some value called as Java. Now this is second parameter I am passing, that is comma true. This means automatically whenever this program get executed, this Java will be automatically clicked. That will be by default assigned as a true value. That is, it will be by default click. You can unclick it whenever you run it, but by default you want some elements to be get clicked automatically. So it will you have to pass a parameter that is second parameter this to this checkbox class that is true. Again, I am setting some boundaries. I want some specific location where it should be displayed. So x-axis, y-axis, width and height. These are the four parameters. And these are the four basic functions you have to use for the purpose of adding those elements. So I want to add this first checkbox. So add that is container is nothing but a frame. So frame dot add that checkbox one, frame dot add checkbox two, and I am setting a size of this my container, that is 400 by 400, and then setting a layout. I don't want any layout, so I'm specifying it's with null value over there, and set visible. This is true, and I'm running this program from my main. So this program will be coordinating all the things which are written into this constructor class. For as a checkbox example, we run this program, we'll find there are two different types of checkboxes. By default, the Java is click. I'm unclicking it. Okay. So by default, whenever you run automatically, as there is a value called as a true, automatically first time whenever Java is displayed, it will be displayed as a true value. That is, it will be clicked automatically. So you can add anything in your design, and for the checkbox, you have to use a class called as a checkbox. So are you clear with this? How to add a checkbox into your container frame? Yes. Any question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll move further. So I need to stop this program. Now, second one is checkbox group. Now, there is nothing called as a radio button here in AWT component. It is present in swing component. So swing has radio buttons, but AWT don't have radio. Now, how to make that thing as just like a radio? So whenever I am writing this program. So first I run this program, and then I will go for detailing of this program. So how this has been done. So see, now the symbol has been changed. Now it is rounded. In previous example, when you have run this program, so see, both the differences are different. We are using the checkbox here class here, and now we are using checkbox group. So see, here we have used we are going for the example called as a checkbox group for displaying this output in a rounded way, just like a male female. So toggling is going on here. So you can toggle that if you are clicking something and it is getting unclicked and in another section. But when you go for checkboxes, you can unclick both. You can click both. So here you are doing something, one thing is by default being clicked. So this is the difference between the both the things. So uh, I'm stopping this one and we are moving towards this one. Now what is here you have to do whenever you want to display a radio button. So there is a class called as checkbox group. So checkbox group is nothing but you can display your radio buttons. So simple program, just like I have imported this AWT package. I am creating a class called as checkbox group one. That is I want to display it. I am creating a constructor and I am writing something into constructor. So what it is written is very simple. First, the container frame. Now here I am starting. Here I have created object of checkbox group. Now checkbox group is only a group. It is grouping two different elements of checkboxes. So we have to use checkbox just like the previous example, and we have to use one more special class for the purpose of displaying, for making it a group single, that is just like a radio button. So checkbox group. So check and then a box box, just like a previous example. B is in lowercase, and then group G should be in uppercase. So checkbox group, I'm creating the object of this class, that is CBG. I have given checkbox group, I have given name called as CBG, and I have created the object. I have not passed any value into this. Now I am again creating the C++. I want to display C++ and I want to display Java over there. So I am creating again a checkbox like previous example. Checkbox, I'm creating an object called as a checkbox one, and I'm using this value called as C++. Now second parameter, what you have to do is that you want these two things to be toggled. So either or. Just like a male or female, when you go for male, then you click on male, automatically female section will get for unclick. So here you have to create a group, and for purpose of that group, the second parameter should be your checkbox group object. So I am passing that object to this checkbox, that is second parameter, and by default I am saying that is a C++ should be false. So it should not be a true value. So this is one thing I have to pass, that should be a three parameters for this checkbox. Previously in checkbox, we have seen only two parameters. Now, when we go for checkbox group, you have to go for three parameters. First, the value you want to display on a screen. Second one, the group, in which group you want to specify, that is a checkbox group class object, and whether you want to make it by default clicked or unclicked, that is by saying true or false. If you want to make it by default click, it should be true. If you want to make it by default unclick, it should be false. So you have to do that one. Here, with the same function that is set bounds, I am specifying its location, where exactly where it should be displayed, and what should be the width and height of that component, that is my checkbox of C++. Same way, I am creating object of second checkbox, that is checkbox 2, and I am passing three parameter, that is a text which I want to display on a screen, in which group I want to add, that is a CBG group, that is checkbox group, with the combination with C++. So I have given a parameter like this, and I by default I want that C Java to be clicked, so I am passing the parameter called as a true. And then I am setting some boundaries where it should be displayed on a screen, and these are the majorly four functions you have to use for the purpose of displaying it on a screen. So I am adding checkbox 1 on a frame container. I am adding a checkbox 2 on a frame container by using an add function. So add is for the purpose of adding those elements. Then set size for the setting the size of my frame container. Set layout for the purpose of setting the layout of the frame. And finally, I want to display all components on the screen. So set visible true. Again, I'm remotely accessing this from my main function. So I have just created object of my class. As soon as the object is being created, it will be calling this constructor, and constructor will be executing this code, and you will get an output on your Windows format. So I'm running this program, and you will see same what we have seen. So you will see just like the example. So these are the two things, C++ and Java. But by default, we have said that this is a true, so it will be displaying that by default value. And as both are from the same group, that is CBG group, if I click on this, automatically this part will be unclicked. So just like a male gender, you want to display male and female. You want to use a radio button. So radio is nothing but one is clicked and one other is unclicked. That is toggling between the different components. And this is possible only through the checkbox group. So are you clear with checkbox and checkbox group? Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Rest बाकी के यस बाकी का कोई किसको कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं नो okay. Now the next one, we have completed with checkbox and checkbox group. Then we will go for choice and list now. Choice and list. Now choice box. Now choice box is a list of items you want to display for the purpose of selecting a multiple select or single select you want to display on a screen. So the name of the class is nothing but a choice. So you can select any one from the given choices. So same program, I am importing a package called as AWT package with dot star. Star means what I want. I am using multiple classes. So frame, choice, these are the classes which are present into this AWT package. So again, a constructor of the class called as a choice example, and I am creating same just like a previous example. But here one thing is changed, that is only a class name, that is choice. So frame SF, that is a container. I am creating object using association, and then I am creating object of choice C. Okay, and I'm not passing any parameter into this constructor. So what you have to do is that you just have to create the object of that choice C. I'm setting specific boundaries where I want to display it on a screen. That is on x-axis and y-axis, and specific width and height of my choice component. And then I need to add different types of list who I want to add into this choice. So I am giving, I want to add item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, and item 5. These are the 5 elements, 5 values to that component elements I have passed into this by saying C. C is nothing but a choice object. C is nothing but a choice object. So you are creating once the object and you are adding multiple times using this add function. So this is added. This is add a function of C, that is choice. Now see, there are different types of add functions. So this is add function for the what we call as a container. So this is the difference between the both the add functions. So you whenever you are adding this, this is not getting added directly on the frame. It is getting added into C. C is nothing but a choice. So class choice will be having this option in getting added. So there are five options being added into your choice, and then after that, my completing those designing, I am specifying it that that choice, that is C object, should be displayed on my frame. So F is nothing but a frame. So this is something called as concerned with the frame, and this is what we call as that is concerned with the choice button. So add function with multiple versatility, you will see that is you can just the name of a class object and add function, it will be adding those elements to that specific class only. So here I am adding on a frame and I want to display that choice on a screen. So I'm adding that choice to using the add function. Then I'm setting the size of my frame, make no setting a layout for the frame and setting it visible by true value, and that's it. We are running this program. It's very simple, and you will find there is a check choice box will displayed on a screen. Now see, the choice and list are somewhat different. So choice is nothing but like this, and when you click on this, you will get a drop down. So all drop down elements what you have added over there into that choice class, all will be displayed on a screen. So you can click anything. So if I'm clicking 4 item 4, so it will be displayed on a screen like this. So you can add anything on a screen using this choice. So this is what you call as a diagrammatic representation for the drop down, that is a class called as a choice class. So are you clear with this choice? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now list. Same program with list type. The choice and list are somewhat different. Now here what I will do is the same thing. Now I am importing the package AWT and having created a class called as a list example, a constructor, and constructor contains my initialization. So now what is initialized? First thing, that is container class frame with its object called as F. Then I want to add a list. I want to create a list. So the name of the class is list. The object name is li, and new. This is a technique of creating this one. And here I am specifying the range, how much elements should be added into the list. So this is nothing but an array. So it is 5 I want to add. Now I'm setting a set bounds. So specifically on X and Y axis with some specific width and height has been set to this list. Now I am adding same way, just like a choice. You are adding some items into this item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, and item 5. So this 5, what it is, if I'm changing this value, what it will be, we'll go into detail after this execution. Then these are the add function for the, just like the previous choice, you are adding all add items into li l1. L1 is nothing but your list item. So list one, this add function will be adding all items, all values into your list, and this list will be getting added into your frame. So f dot add will be adding a element called as a list on your frame f, and same four functions: set size, set layout, and set visible. So these three functions for the purpose of displaying it on a screen. Same, we are accessing from the main function. For the purpose of initialization, we have written this code into the constructor. So constructor will be called as soon as the class object is being created by the keyword called as a new. So I am running this program and see, previous example we have seen only one. Now you can see it is in the format called as a 5 like this. Now see, I stop this one and I just display it as a 2. Now the way you want to display it on a screen, as far as the requirement of your client is there, you want to display it on a screen. So if you change the size like this, still it is working, but something is wrong with my programming, I think. So I have already compiled, so I need to delete that classes. So you'll have only 2 elements getting displayed on a screen. So try it on your PC, individual GUI programs. So whenever we are doing something with AWT, somewhere it goes wrong and it access a previous class object into this class. So this is what we call as a Okay. Am I audible now? Something went wrong.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. I have one question.
Yes.
सर वो जो आप लिस्ट में मतलब कंस्ट्रक्टर में जो ऐड कर रहे हो अपन मेन फंक्शन में भी डायरेक्ट लिख सकते हो क्या?
हाँ, एक मिनट, हाँ, एक मिनट. I'm copying this part, cutting this part. Okay, I'm cutting this part and I'm writing this here. Okay, I'm commenting this part. I'm removing this part. Okay, it's very simple. I'm saving this file. Okay, so everything I have written into my main function, and then I'm running this program. Again, I am changing here. I will change it like this too. Let us see what will happen. See, so there is no issue in writing like this. There is no compilation error. There is nothing. You change the value, nothing will happen. If I remove this also, nothing will happen. So you do nothing. You do anything. You can write it in your main function also. You can write it in constructor. But whenever you go for designing any related to AWT component, it is always preferred that you should do your designing in your constructor because it is initialization. As soon as the class object is being created, there should be display. All components should be get displayed on a screen, and then after that you can go for your business logic. So initialization, designing part should always be written in your constructor. So that's why I have written into a constructor. You can write that code directly into main function. Nothing will happen. You will get an output. Okay. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Any question?
No, sir.
Then after that list, then after list we'll be entering to something called as different components. So we have completed with I think button, label, text a field, text area, checkbox, checkbox group, choice, list, and now menu items and menu. Then we'll go for panels. So let be panels are not being declared here. We'll be not using. We'll end today with menu items and menu. So we'll go for menu and menu item. So menu and menu item, these are combination. These are two different classes, and we have to use this whenever you go for the program of displaying something. So first I will go for executing this program for displaying exactly what this menu bar is. So anything you see like this, okay, and these are the different items, and there is sub menus also. Okay, so there is a menu bar. So there is a menu bar. Now see how it is being initialized. So we'll go for direct the program how it has been displayed. So here I have to import this java.awt package. I am writing a class called as a menu example, and I'm writing everything into my constructor called as a menu example constructor. And first thing, the container. So here it is displayed menu and menu item example. So nothing, it is just a parameter which I have passed values I have passed into my frame. So it as soon as the frame is being initialized, the frame will be displaying this menu and menu item example. Okay. Now one class for the purpose of displaying this, you will see this. This is a light color something on a screen. So if I want to place something here, so I need to add this bar over here at the top. So how this bar has been added? It's very simple. It just you have to create an object of a class called as a menu bar. So menu, it is an upper lowercase. Menu M is an uppercase and bar B is in uppercase. So menu bar is the name of a class for displaying this bar on your screen. If it is there, then only this menus will be added on this bar. So menu, if you want to add onto this, you cannot add directly menu on a screen. First, you have to initiate its bar, and on that bar location, because bar is only always displayed on the top. You cannot change this location from here on a horizontal or vertical at the bottom or on left hand side. You cannot change it. It is always on the top location. So bar, it is menu bar. So menu bar object I am creating. The name of the menu bar is MB, and then I am creating a menu. So the name of this is nothing but a menu. So name of the class is menu, 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 and the name of object I have given is menu. So I am giving it as menu, and the thing which I want to display it on a screen. So I have used as a menu. So here it has been displayed on a screen. So first thing, it is menu on this one. Now into this, what I have done is that again I have added one menu. Again, I have added one menu called as a sub menu, and I have given name called as a sub menu. So when I click on this, you will find it again. It has been displayed like this sub menu. Okay. Now how it has been located? So see, this is a class with displaying menu. This is a class menu with displaying something called as a sub menu. Now in this menu item, now see there are different three types of classes we are using: menu bar, menu, and menu item. Huh? Menu bar is for the purpose of this adding this menu bar. Menu is the thing you want to display it on a menu, that is on menu bar, the thing you want to display directly without clicking it. So if I click, then only the remaining parts items are displayed. So this is the part which are displayed after clicking a menu. After clicking a menu, if the remaining part is displayed, this is called as a sub menu. So here this is sub menu item. So sub menu has been displayed in the format of menu item. So menu bar, menu, and then menu item. So these are the three classes you require for the purpose of displaying a menu bar on your screen. Okay. So menu item, I'm adding item 1, item 2, item 3, and item 4 and item 5. Okay, there's 5 items. Now what I have created is that I have created separate subgroups over here. So something to be added here somewhere located. So item 1, item 2, and item 3, item 4 is so all I sub items is been initiated. So I am just creating that object of that items. Now you have not placed where it should be there. So uh, just like item 4 should be a sub part of sub menu, so it is not like that. So first you have to do all your initialization, whatever you want to be added into that screen, and then after that I'm using a function like menu. So menu means what? This is the first thing. Okay, menu dot add list 1, menu dot add, that is item 2, menu dot add item 3, and here I am saying sub menu. The sub menu is again a menu. Sub menu dot add item 4, sub menu dot add item 5. So you will find this one. And now I am saying, now see, this is menu dot add. Now this we have created sub menu. If I don't do this, if I say just like this, okay, and I say like this, MB menu bar, and I have run this program. So I will stop this program first. Now see, if I'm adding directly that component, just like menu and menu bar on MB. What is that MB? MB is nothing but my menu bar. So I am adding this. So you'll find item 1, 2, 3, item 4 and 5 will be displayed like this. Okay. But I want it should be like this: item 1, 2, 3, and then it should be sub menu should be a part of menu, and then it should have its internal linking, that is internal item. So what I will do is that I will comment this part and I'll comment this part. So what we have done is that we have added all my menus, all three items into my menu, and then I have added this fourth and fifth element into my submenu, and I have initiated, that is menu dot add submenu. Again, the submenu which I have created, it has been added over there after the three items are been added. So submenu will be added into my main menu, and then after that menu will be added on your menu bar. Menu will be added on your menu bar. So items are added into menu, menus are added into menu bar. This thing you have to follow, and after that you have to go for adding those menu bar. So interlinking of everything, I'm running this program, and you'll find an output like this. And these are the 4 functions for the purpose of displaying a thing on a screen. So frame should contain set menu bar. Now see, you are using add menu. Previously you were using add. Now for the purpose of setting a menu bar, you have to use a function called as a set menu bar. Now here you cannot use add function. Add function cannot be used for the purpose of menu bar. So you have to use a function called as set menu bar, and I am passing the parameter of your menu bar. Okay. Don't use add function for the purpose of adding menu bar into your Windows screen. The thumb rule you have to keep in mind. So for the purpose of adding menu bar, there is a function called as a set menu bar, and the remaining three functions are same, just like setting a size, setting a layout, and making it visible on a screen. So this thing you have done. Simple code. Are you clear with this, or should I go for explaining again and again? Yes. This is most important. It is somewhat complicated. You can create a menu bar just like this. This is just like a file and then a recent, and you'll find the sub parts. Like just like this container like this. When you go for edit, you'll find the sub menus are there, items are here. You go for resources, these are all sub menus. There is sub menus, there is sub menu list also there. So these are all called as an items. And this is not an item, this is sub menu. And sub menu contains again some items. So you can go for designing like this. Okay. So Eclipse is nothing a product of your Java. Eclipse is nothing but a product of Java. This is all being created into Java. So Eclipse is already created in Java. You will see the designing of this. These are all swing components. So whenever you go for Eclipse, it is nothing but it is just a GUI being created by your Java. Just like just like you have been developed like this. You are developer, so you can create like this menu bar, like this. So everything is possible with this item called as a menu bar. So are you clear with this menu bar? How can you add? How can make it a sub menu? How can you create a sub menu? How can you create a menu? How can you add a menu bar?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And then after that we'll go for panel and then for dialog boxes. So we'll move further. Panel example. Now we have already seen that panel are always for the purpose of displaying it on your what we call as an applets. So panel is just like a designing part. So here we are implementing the panel into your regular programming. So what is it exactly? So we'll run. This is frame. So again, this is AWT package I have used. I have given a name called as a panel example, and I am creating a constructor called as a panel example. And first container I am using, that is my frame. So panel can be added into frame, but you cannot use panel directly. So frame, I am using it frame object called as F. I am using a panel called as a panel. Name of object is panel, and using a new keyword, I am creating object of my panel class, that is panel, and I am setting some background, setting some boundaries. So this is nothing but my panel bounds where it should be displayed on a screen. So 40 by 80, that is 40 on x-axis, 80 on y-axis, and it should be size should be 200 by 200. Then I'm setting a background color to my panel. So you can give a color to the panel. You cannot give a color to the frame directly. So you have to use a panel for the purpose of coloring, just like you see in a browser. So I'm giving gray color to my panel. So panel will be a gray color and it will be located at this location. The two things I have done. Now here I have used one button. Button B1 is equal to new button, and button 1 will be displayed on a screen. Now with set boundaries, I am setting its boundaries where it should be located, and I am giving some background color to my button. So I am using a class called as a color class with some specific keywords, that is yellow, gray, that is color dot gray, color dot yellow. You can give any color to that. If you are using ID, you will get an ample number of list of colors. You can add those colors. Again, I am using a second button, and again I am giving setting it should be displayed on specific location, and I am again giving it some color. Then after that I am adding those things on a panel. So button 1 and button 2 are added on a panel. See, I am adding it on a panel, and after that that panel is been added on my frame. So panel cannot be displayed directly. I need to put that panel on my frame, then only it is possible. If you want to display this directly on a screen, you have to use an applet. So panel can display output directly if you are using applet, but panel if you want to display it on a Windows application, you have to add it in your frame. So frame object dot add, I am adding that panel, and then after that I am setting a size of my frame. Panel is of 200 by 200. Here frame is of 400 by 400. I'm setting a layout for my frame. I'm displaying that frame components directly on a screen. And when I run this program, you will find the difference between panel and frame. Now see, this is white color. This is nothing but a frame. And this thing, what you have seen, that is 200 by 200 pixel. This is a frame, and these are the buttons. I can give colors to my button like this. So panel can give a feature of coloring those elements directly, just like you see on a browser. So here I have given a gray color to my background of my panel, and I am giving a color, background color to my frame, that is yellow color and green color to my buttons. So B1 with the yellow color and B2, that is button 2, with green color. And this panel is been added on a frame, and I am displaying the frame. So frame, if I am displaying, automatically panel will be displayed, and automatically the buttons which are present on the panel will be displayed. So are you clear with this? What is a panel and what is a frame? Because this is most important. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And last one, that is my dialog boxes I want to display. So all dialog boxes which are there in AWT will go for the examples. Okay. So dialog box will go for first output, and then you will get an clear idea about this, what is exactly dialog box is. So you see, so this is when I click on OK button, automatically is getting displayed. So I am running this program. So this is nothing but a dialog box, just like a message box, just like this. So if I click on this, it will be getting vanish. So automatically action event. We just have to go. We'll go for the declaring those elements, how it has been declared, and it is not used because it is heavy weighted. So dialog boxes in Spring are more what we call as look and feel very good, is excellent in Swing components rather than in AWT components. So we'll just go for the concept of this dialog box. Will not go for the purpose of executing this one. So now it is very simple. Whenever you want to do use any dialog boxes, so here I have just created a static object of dialog box, that is D, and a constructor, and into that constructor I am creating a frame, and then that dialog box object I want to display, that is dialog example, and I am setting the layout of that dialog box, so that I want to display it in a flow layout. So what things to be added are this? So I have added a button, and I have added an action listener, that is on click event, and I'm adding that dialog boxes on a screen and make it visible. So here I have not displayed what we call as a frame. Here I have added and displayed what we call as a dialog box. But whenever there is a dialog box needed to be displayed, frame should be passed as a parameter to this dialog box. Now this dialog box will be just like a frame with some values on it, and by default with true value. So I'm running this program, you get an output like this. So see, so here I am using the feature of frame. So I am creating object of dialog. I am passing a frame object into that, and I want to display it in the frame. So dialog example is with the help of a frame object and displaying it. And by default, it has been true. True means it has been displayed on a screen. So it will be visible in the frame directly. So there is no need to explicitly initialize. Automatically, it will be displayed on a screen just like a dialog box. And then I'm setting a size, that is a flow layout, and then I'm adding a button, that is OK button, and I'm adding some label over there, that is click button to continue. So this is again added. So this text part is label is added, then a button is added. I am setting a size to that dialog box. I am making it visible on a screen, and then I'm running this program. And on a click, this is nothing but an action listener to this button. So when I click on this OK button, it will do operation code as it will be getting vanished automatically. So it will be set visible false. So when I click on OK button, the dialog example, that is this class object, that is a D, because I am specifying it static. So I need to give the name of a class, that is D, and then its function called as set visible. So when I click on this OK button, automatically it will be getting invisible. So it will be getting automatically removed from your screen. So very simple example, though we don't go into detail about this, how it has been done. So are you clear with this one? So we are
Yes, sir.
Today we have completed with today we have completed with all the elements. Now tomorrow's session is focusing on the different types of action listener. So when I go on clicking this button, so what action should be there? When I go for labels, if I do want to do some actions on that is action listener classes, I want to use this one. So if I want to use this one, from tomorrow's session is only dedicated to adding this action listener and how this action listener and action events are be working for the purpose of executing your business logic on AWT components. Okay, are you clear till now?
Okay.
Okay, so tomorrow's session is most important. That is event called as an action events and action listeners, whatever which are present into this. All action events and all action listeners will be going into detail, and tomorrow itself will be completing with AWT. And on day after tomorrow, that is on Monday onwards, we'll be entering into swing component. So same pattern of writing a code. Now it's a duty to create a specific GUIs, just like a login button, just like a registration form. You can create by just sitting at a home. Simple codes are there. You can just post code and you can create a menu bar. You can create your sub menus. You can create a registration forms. You can create login forms. So any type of GUI design you can do at your home. So are you clear with this? Are you comfortable with this? Yes. We have
Yes,
gone
sir.
into very small. Okay. Anyone, any question और कुछ पूछना है तो पूछो. No question.